So let's get right to it. Grant Delpit, before really practice even got going, during individual work, they hadn't done any team drills, anything like that. Grant Delpit goes down, grabbing at the back of his ankle, that Achilles area, and then gets carted off the field. We've seen this before, and we usually know what it means. We won't say anything officially here, but look, it's not good news with Grant Delpit. Mary Kay, this is going to have a big impact on this secondary because safety is already very, very thin. So to lose a player like Delpit, who is kind of slowly moving up the depth chart a little bit, this could have a big impact on the Browns.
Yeah, I mean, they drafted him to be a starting safety this year. There's no question about it. And even if he didn't start right from week one, he was going to be on the field an absolute ton in sub defenses, in the nickel, in the dime. He was going to have the opportunity to play sort of that big nickel safety, when you've got three safeties and two cornerbacks on the field. He would have been on in those kinds of situations. It really is a tough blow. I mean, you draft somebody in the second round to make an impact right away in their first year. And, this comes on the heels of Matt Wilson, Kevin Johnson. So, it's a very huge blow to the defense.
Yeah, Ellis, I mean, what have you kind of seen from Greedy? Not Greedy. We're going to get to Greedy Williams. What have you seen from Grant Delpit in training camp so far, and what kind of loss do you think this is for the Browns, if it in fact it is what it looks like?
Well, the first thing you notice right away when you watch Grant at practice is just how long he is when he creeps up into the box as that box safety and goes over the usually number 3, number 2 target on that offense, and you just notice his long arms and his frame and the potential promise he has in that spot. It's the exact type of player that Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, and Joe Woods were looking for in that position. He just seemed to, even the few opportunities in camp to be around the ball, you notice him getting in and out of breaks well, and again, not being afraid to be around the line of scrimmage. He talked, I'll remember it's probably his line of his season now because it doesn't look like he'll be playing this year, about how eager he was to shut everyone up with his tackling issues. And he was going to come out and make a point of that right away. And it looked like he was going to have every opportunity with what Mary Kay just said, how much he was going to be on the field, and then specifically how the Browns were going to use him, again, staying close to the line of scrimmage, getting him in there against tight ends and running backs, and just, getting dirty. And it's something he was going to be able to do well for this team. And, it's next man up. And Mary Kay mentioned a few names, but this list is dwindling. It was already injuries to Carl Joseph, which we knew about. Mary Kay mentioned Kevin Johnson. And then today, Delpit, MJ Stewart with a hamstring, who we talked about the other day, and then Greedy Williams. And I know these are, we're blurring the lines between safety and corner, but that's really the point of this defense right now, and specifically where Delpit was playing. So you go down that list, that's 6 defensive backs the Browns are currently missing due to injury, some obviously with more serious injuries than other. But considering you start, 4, sometimes play 5, and you're 2 deep or around 8, that's a massive number of defensive backs to be out right now.
And just kind of sticking with that safety position, this kind of keeps the Browns, I guess, stuck with that Carl Joseph Andrew Sendejo pairing. And, Ellis, you mentioned it. Joseph has been dealing with an injury. He started on the PUP list. He hasn't been practicing every day. Sendejo's a nice player. He's a veteran. But ultimately, you want to see Delpit work in there. And like you said, Mary Kay, you draft a guy in the second round with that pick so that you can start him. That's ultimately going to be the plan. Whether it was week 1, week 4, whenever, the plan has to be for Grant Delpit to start and to lose that versatility and to lose that depth there as well. So now a guy like Sendejo kind of has to start, or Sheldrick Redwine has to step up. It really puts the spotlight on guys like that, whereas those guys might have been more luxuries at some point this season.